Hi everyone, welcome again. So today our area of focus would be manage users under administer. This is an option that is widely being used by administrators mostly. However, we do have support and developers also using this option. Now coming to the first option available, we have users under this. Now under users, this would give you the list of users that are available in one particular organization or one particular org that we call. It could be you could be using multiple orgs, like one for sandbox, one for staging, one for production, with different amount of users in that. So since Salesforce is on cloud, so this has per user per license. Since I'm using a developers org, I could go ahead and create one more user with different profile or role. So now what all options you could do from this is you could go ahead and first of all you could check the active users or admin users available, or you could see all the users available. However, not to forget, you could also go ahead and create a new view, probably a standard view you could call. So this would pick up a name. Now this unique name would be a name that is automatically generated by Salesforce on behalf of you. Note that this would not have any spaces. Any spaces would be replaced with an underscore. However, you could also rename it to say training, which we are presently using this org for. We're going to be renaming it as training underscore standard underscore view. So you could probably select the filters that if at all say the profile is not equal to system administrator, you want to go ahead and display those users. Now you could also select the fields that you wish to view. You could view the company's name. Based on this is entirely based on the requirements that you see. You do not have to worry about these fields. I'm going to walk you through this as well. So you could restrict this visibility. This is visible only to me, as in this view is visible to you alone. So that you log in and you'll still be able to see that special view that you have created. You could make it visible to all the users. This is again an option available for an administrator. You could make it visible to a certain set of users. Now you could search these users based on public groups or some roles and subordinates. We're going to speak about this options, how you could set it and select it. However, this is just a matter of time that you would like to have to know that this option is available only for you as of now, or to everyone else. So let me go ahead and click on cancel. Now what are the other options that you could do before creating a new user? Before creating a new user, you could edit a particular user by clicking on this edit option. You could select the options, select the users, maybe one single user or maybe all the users by selecting this option on that particular page. Now once you do that, you could go ahead and reset their password or passwords. I'm not going to do that as of now, because I would be prompted to go ahead and change it again, which I do not want to. Now being said that, you could add one user or you could add multiple users. Now first let's go ahead and see adding multiple users. what are the options that is available. Now this will give you an overview of the number of available Salesforce licenses available in my org, which could vary from the company that you're working with. It could show the number of licenses that the client or your company might have procured or purchased initially, the number of Chatter external licenses available, Chatter free licenses available, then free user licenses available, then number of identity user licenses available. So different type of licenses available. I'm going to prepare a document for this and share it next time about this. Now you got to select first of all the license, and once you select that, note that a maximum of 10 users is what you can create at one single shot. The reason you're not able to see that particular 10 user of similar blocks of details is because of the number of licenses that I have is less for Salesforce. So if I could show you, on the other hand, if I select force.com free licenses, again I have 2 licenses, so it's 2. Now if I select something else, say a Chatter external, you could see that maximum of 10 users, and you could select this option and it would generate and notify all these 10 users with options to go ahead and set a new password. You could also create more users by clicking on this add more users option. So for the time being, we are going to go ahead and create one user. So let's go ahead and create one user. Now creating one user, the mandatory fields are last name, alias, email address, username, nickname, role, license, profile. Now I would go ahead and create one user for you quickly just to demonstrate. I'm going to keep that as Robin. I'm going to put that as Jacob. Jacob. Now you see when I did a mistake that this alias did not get auto-populated, it kept the same. Now to do that again, the trick would be remove alias, rename this to the correct name. Once you do that, it gets populated with the correct details. Fill in the email address. I'm going to put my own email address for now. Now once I click on this, it would auto-populate the username. I'm going to specify that with a dot user. I'm going to rename this to training.user, and his nickname would be the same. I'm going to select a role for this user. I'm going to make him the VP of marketing. I'm going to select a profile for him as a custom marketing profile. Now apart from this, you see this as an option active. Now sometimes in interviews, trick questions asked, could you go ahead and delete a user? So the answer should be no. You cannot delete a user from Salesforce. You could inactivate the user or deactivate them. The other questions that you could see is, now I have a user who's been given a marketing profile, but the user is not able to see marketing options available. That could be because of this checkbox. Now you could also get questions based on offline users. Now I have a user who's once he's in office, he's able to use Salesforce. However, once he is not connected to Salesforce or internet, or he's using probably his phone for saving some data temporarily, he is not able to access it. So that time this option comes into play. Now Service Cloud again deals with all your cases. So once you get scenarios based on cases, your first trigger in your mind could be because of this reason. Being said that, you also have other options available which you could check on this. Now email encoding is one very important option available. You could select UTF-8 based on, this is basically selected based on your company's requirement or based on what encoding format that they prefer. Using Unicode 8 would allow them to use multiple languages in the email. So you could enter their address optionally. Time zone is one important area. Selecting a time zone would generate reports and other details based on this time zone for that particular user. Specifying a locale would allow them to go ahead and select the language of their region of their choice. So this depends entirely on where they are located or situated, and equally selecting a language. Locale would be more specific to the options that they're seeing in different languages, and language would be more of their language coming up in the records. So you could also select their manager. Note, once we are talking about relationships, we're going to speak more about this one as well. There's this fourth type of relationships called as a self relationship, which is only available in this object, where the user is reporting to another user with a different designation. So this is one very important area. So let's go ahead and save this for now. I hope I've selected everything where the mandatory field are necessary. Yes, I have. Once this is being selected, it's a duplicate name, so I'm going to go ahead. So yeah, here you go. So once this is being selected, this particular email address would again receive an auto-generated email with a link to verify the account and set a new password. So please go ahead and try this by creating a new user and verifying the link and trying to log in as that user after setting a new password. Thank you.